The book Gardens of the Moon is has been such an amazing read. Every single thing in this entire novel is just so perfect because there are so many characters throughout the novel, and still somehow every single character is unique. The way they talk is unique, the way they handle stuff is unique, the way they just interact with each other. All of the character interactions are so amazing and wonderful, and every single one of them, except Hairlock, because Hairlock is annoying, every single one of them is just amazing. Also, except Taishirin, because Taishirin is also annoying. But yeah, every single character is so amazing and so well crafted, and even the dynamics between two characters is so on point. Like when you talk about the bridge burners, the duo of Kalam and Quickpen, they are so amazing together. Like the way they rely on each other, the way they trust each other, the way they just work so well together. They are true partners in crime, and both of those characters are so amazing. Every single scene that they're in, it's just such a pleasure to watch to read every single scene that they're in. It is amazing. And like the squad, Whiskey Jack squad, they have so many of these duo type things. Like we have Quickman and Kalam, and then we have Hedge and Fiddler. Even they, the way they interact with each other, it feels as if they've been friends for like 4 centuries, and now we've just walked in on them talking to each other. There is so much depth to every single character in the entire story, and every single character dynamic. There is so much there, and like the characters that we meet, even though the politics of the story is complicated, and even though the magic system is really complicated and you don't understand everything about it, the characters ground you in the scene so well that you are just there. You are so fully immersed in the entire experience that it it's beautiful. And the characters are the ones who ground us in a scene. The way they interact with each other, the way they just trash talk each other, the way they just insult each other, and it's really amazing. And you see this dynamic of armies and army between the different people in different positions in the army. It is really amazing. This also, like the way everything is grounded in a single setting. Like in the beginning, the first beginning we spent in Pale, in the city of Pale, and the next section, the entire section of the book is spent in the city of the Rajasthan, or its outskirts, or like just in and around the city of the Rajasthan. So even though everything is so complicated, we have a clear understanding of everything that is at stake, and what are the what will happen if these characters fail, and what will happen if these characters win. And again, one of the most important thing is that we see characters from both sides. We see characters who are so desperately trying to conquer the city of Durgistan to save their own skins, and then we see the characters who are so in such a corner, and who are trying their best to save their city. And we see both sides of the conflict, and we don't know which one to root for, because we love people from both sides. Like we love Whiskey Jack and his squad. Well, we love Whiskey Jack and his squad, except like sorry. So I'm so sorry, but I don't love you. Anyways, and the way the plot is laid out, the way the story is laid out, everything centers around this one event, like this convergence. And again, even though there are so many different threads and events and people woven together, the city, like confining almost the entire plot in the city, makes makes it easier to understand and be grounded in that one place. We see so much of the Malazan side of things in the city of Pale, and well, we see this the Rajasthan side of things in the city of the Rajasthan, I guess. But the thing is, when the scene shifted, like the part one of the book is not does not take place in the Rajasthan, it takes place in Pale, and as soon as you start book two of the first book, you find yourself in Krappa's POV. And honestly, the first time I read that POV, I hated Krappa. I hated him so much because he was so annoying and I did not understand anything that was going on. But at the end of the book, when everything is finally revealed, Krappa had become somehow my favorite character. Like, I love Whiskey Jack and his Squad. I love Quickman. I love everything that is going on with Anamanda Rake, and I even really love Tattersail. But Crappa is amazing. He is just such a buffoon of a character, and yet he is so smart. He literally runs the entire city, and nobody has any idea how powerful he is. And not only the city, in the end, when the Circle Breaker and like Absalar and Graucus and Kalam and the people are going away, his influence is not just limited to the city of the Rajasthan. Even outside his city, he has a significant amount of influence. Kroppa is probably the most amazing character in the entire book. Anamanda Rake is a very, very close second because, of course, Anamanda Rake is awesome and he's the Lord of the Moonspawn. He is awesome. His entire character is awesome into infinity. He is so amazing. But Kroppa, Kroppa is so cool. Also, Baruch, the alchemist, and Anamanda Rake, they make such a nice duo sort of thing. The way they work together is really, really amazing. And also Crone. Crone is awesome. Crone is hilarious. Anamanda Rake is someone like who an actual god. I mean, I guess Shadowthorn is a god. He's afraid of Anamanda Rake. Just wow, beautiful. Anamander is such an amazing character. Again, like he has lived centuries, he has lived millennia, and he's just having fun because he wants to be interfere himself in human politics for some reason. The Lord of the Moonspawn, the Tistic Andy, and when there is that scene where in Fite, Turban Orr, that idiot of a councilman, meets Anamanda Rake, and Baruch introduces him as like, "This is my companion, Anamanda Rake," and he's like, "Oh, nice name, cool name." I mean, seriously, you're stupid, Turban Orr. Please shut your mouth. This is a guy who has scared the literal god of shadows back into his warren, and you think you can deal with him? You think you can win? Just Turban Orr's complete and total idiocy will always baffle me. Also, Ganos Paran. Ganos Paran is probably the character that we see the most of. Like, we see from his childhood, and then we see him in the first chapter, and then we continuously see him throughout the story. Ganos is. Ganos is fine. I like him as a character, but I feel like there is that a lot more. He could be a lot more. But I really like the character, even though he doesn't actually do like he does do stuff, but that's probably because Baran in the beginning of the book he has a more of a reactive role instead of an active role. Like stuff is happening around him. Things are happening and he is not making stuff happen. He is reacting to the stuff that has already happened. Like he's low on proactivity. he is still amazing, and still is a very he is a very competent person. Like, anyways, so yeah, and like in the beginning with him and Tattersail, I thought that was a little bit like it started a little bit abruptly, and then again it ended a little bit abruptly, and then after that it just became a problem. Like Tattersail, after Tattersail's death and like her rebirth, the way she was like reborn into the Reviev, it just became a problem. Like Ta- Tattersail herself was like a really nice character, but then now we really don't know what has happened to her and how this soul shifting thing and whatever they did. Like, I didn't even understand what they did in the Kruppa's dream. Like, Carol, I think that's how it's pronounced. Carol came up, and then the Tilanimas came, and then the Rivi Maibi came, and stuff happened that I didn't really understand. But again, that's really everything about that entire section. It just kind of messed up Ganos, I suppose. Yes, it did mess up Ganos. Also, the scene where Ganos dies, like he he dies because Sorry is just knifed him in the back, and he dies. And then there are like three gods. No, technically it's four gods because Opan is two gods. Okay, whatever. Like, gods are just fighting over his soul, and like Opan is like, you know what? I decide that this person is gonna be lucky. Just he just dies and then comes back to life and then falls for Tattersail, and then stuff just happens again. That's the thing. He doesn't make stuff happen. He just reacts to whatever is happening. But he's also a very good person. Like, when he talks to Gaul on their way to the Rajasthan, and the way they talk, the way he interacts with everyone, I like that. I like that. I like those interactions, and but it feels as if his story is there is so much more that he can do. Anyways, Tattersail. Tattersail again. Tattersail is. I thought Tattersail would be like a main character, like a main character, like she's going to stay with us for a long time, and then just Tattersail just dies. She just goes, and apparently Taishuin just gets her killed. So I don't like that. Like, I thought Tattersail was going to be important. I liked being in Tattersail's POV. But then, I mean, she is still important because she is not technically dead, but still, it was, it was messed up, honestly. The entire thing with the soul shifting and Tattersail going out towards the Rajasthan, and everything was everything was messed up. But still, the time we did get to spend with Tattersail in the beginning, it was really nice. And the way Tog the Younger, that scene where Tog the Younger is like the resident claw, and Dujek is sitting, and Taishurin is sitting, and then there was Adjunct Lorne, and and Tog, despite the fact that he's a claw, despite the fact that his loyalty should be with Lassine and only Lassine, he still helps Tattersail out. He still lies to the agent. He still lies to Agent Lorne, saying that whatever Tattersail is saying was true. And I really like that because this camaraderie that exists between the Second Army, between all of like Dujek One Arm's hosts, that is really amazing and really fascinating. And even though Tattersail says that she doesn't feel like she belongs with the Second Army, Tog still helps her out, and yeah, I like that because she has like helped them out in the beginning, like before, like but before in every other engagement she has helped them out, so he helps her out in return. that's that was a really nice scene. I really like that scene. Another thing about Tattersail's POV is that because she is a mage, being in her perspective did help us understand a little bit about how everything works, like a little bit about the Warrens and the way the magic works and the way everything just these these extra dimensions and these other worlds that they use to draw power on. That's really fascinating. And again, one of the things that I really loved about the entire magic system and the setting is the deck of the dragons, because like divination is cool, but like divination with a pack of cards is cooler somehow. And like having these gods and ascendants and these really really powerful people and shuffling the deck and just interpreting meaning from like a deck of cards, that is really awesome. That is such a wonderful way to predict the future, to have this prophecies and foreshadowing. I really love the concept of the deck of the dragons. I think, and the way all of these pieces are put together, that is really nice. And the way we are introduced to Opon through the spinning coin of the deck of the dragons, I really like that. Again, the magic and the gods and the lore of this world is so deep that it takes a lot to understand, and to be in the POV of someone who is very familiar with these things, it helps. Also, I really like the concept of Opon. Like, as the god of luck, it's the way one twin, they're twins, and one twin signifies good luck, and one twin signifies bad luck. That's really amazing. And when when they talk about like Opon's luck to you, or made the lady smile, the lady of luck smile your way, it's so the concept of these two twins being the gods of luck, and one of them, it's really an amazing and wonderful piece of lore that I found was really cool. And also, I don't really like, Opon was a very significant gamble gambler and player in the city. When people keep hearing the spinning coin, the sound of a coin constantly spinning, it just, the way the story is written and the way the lore is introduced to us, it makes it really amazing, and it really deep. And when Crocus picks up the coin of Opon, that, you know that coin because it's been spinning in your head for half the book. You know it, and a, it is such an important moment. Well, I still don't like Rockus that much, though. He is, for all intents and purposes, a very, very stupid teenager. He does make the right choices sometimes, but most of the time he's just being an idiot. I mean, I don't hate him, but again, I don't like him that much. He is just there, he exists, and I am okay with his existence. Like, on the other hand, I really love the other characters that are in that inn, Raliknom and Call and the others, all of Kroppa and Crocus's friends. I really like them, and the way like their dynamic is developed, and the way they care so much for each other. Raliknom especially was such an amazing character. Like, he's a really skilled assassin, and I like being in his POV. I liked whatever he was doing. It was always interesting and engaging. Well, everything Grocus was doing was pining over that Diarly girl, whatever her name was. I don't even remember her name. I don't like her that much. But like being in Rolik Nom's perspective was really nice, and he even like his fight scenes and this thing that was going on, the assassins war that was going on in the city of Darujistan, it was nice, it was really amazing. And when Kalam just gets caught in the assassins war, and um, yeah, that was awesome too. Uno Stolan and Adjunct Lorne were also like a nice POV. Like it was it was not the best. Like I didn't always enjoy being in their perspective, but mostly because a lot of the stuff they talked about I did not understand it. Like they were talking about like old stuff, old history stuff that we are being introduced to, and I didn't really understand all of it, so I didn't like the perspective that much. But it was a really nice perspective. Also, but also, like, why the hell are you releasing an ancient evil from a tomb that it's sealed in? That is common sense. You don't do stuff like this. You don't. If someone, if a tyrant, if a being that is so magically advanced is sealed inside a tomb, they are sealed inside that tomb for a reason, you idiot. Just find some other way to defeat Anomandarake. Why? Why do you have to do this? Just go and stab him with your Otataro. Just no. I just hate it whenever this thing is done, where like they're releasing an ancient evil to combat their enemy. Like it does not work. It never works. It never works the supposed how it's supposed to work. You're not going to kill Anamander Rick with that idiot raised. You're not. So just I don't like the way Agent of War. Sorry. So I'm so sorry. The way Agent Lauren works. I I don't like this thing. Just releasing an ancient evil is the most stupidest thing a character can do in a fantasy novel. But no, a character who was I thought was smart, and she is smart. She is yeah, she is smart. She is okay. Doing something so stupid, it annoyed me, but I guess it kind of worked out in the end. And also, Anamander Rake is a dragon. Just wow, he's a dragon. He can become a dragon. That's so cool. Dragons are cool, and Animandrake is cool, and Animandrake becoming a dragon is really cool. Just wow, he is amazing. The in the end, the fighting scene, the way everything just exploded near the climax, that was so amazing. It was pure gold. Everyone, everything is coming together into and tying a very neat and tidy bow. The bridge burners going, standing as the guard in the fete, everything, Turban or and that weird lady who was Carl's wife, everything resolving between them, Raliknom and his friends just taking revenge for their friend. Cole coming out of his like coming back to himself, the Finnest house, everything was so well executed. The execution of the ending was so beautiful. The way all of the loose threads were tied together in this beautiful tapestry. The ending was amazing. It just was. Though I'm sad that Uncle Mammoth had to die, but still, I and also I'm really glad that Baruch did not die. I like Baruch the Alchemist. He was he was nice. I every time he and Anamander Rake talked. Also, maybe I liked Baruch because every time he was on scene, there was a possibility of getting a scene where Anamander Rake was there. So, but he also Baruch is still an amazing character. He is still. Uh, I don't. We don't know much about him. Like there is not much of backstory, and just that he wants to protect his city and that he's a really smart person. But still, he is nice. Also, the way everything was just resolved in the end, like the city of Darujistan technically comes under Malazan control, but also it is not technically under Malazan control. So it's like we have found a middle way, and that does mean that Dujik is betraying the Empress or whatever. But we have found another way, a middle way where there we have Malazan occupation. Like the Bridgeburners have in a way won, but also Baruch and the Eel and everybody else have won also. Like we have reached a middle point. We have reached a point where the city is not Malazan but is also like Malazan. So yeah, that was nice. The resolution of this plot plot where we don't know which side we have to root for. It was in a way we found a middle path. What I find was probably the which is probably the most funniest thing in this book is like right in the first chapter we are shown how Amanas and Cotillion, like Shadowthorn and the Rope, are so amazing and so powerful, and like they've done this, they've done that, they are so overpowered. And then Shadowthorn shows up with his hounds, and Animander Rake is like, if you take one more step further, I'm going to kill your dogs, and then I'm going to kill you. So get out of my city. And Shadowthorn is like, I'm not going to argue with that. Also, like, he's the god of shadow, is sitting in his own damn warren. And Quick Pen shows up, and he's like, hi, you're going to help me. And you are going to do whatever I tell you to do. Like, Shadowthorn is set up as this big, powerful person in the beginning of the book, and by the end of the book, two people have gotten the better of him, which makes Quickben and Animander Rake really awesome. But it also is funny because Shadowthorn is just. He must have been so annoyed. I mean, getting bested by Animander Rake is one thing. Like, of course, he's Animander Rake, it's fine. But getting bested by a human squad mage who used to be his own high prince, that must have been such a blow to his ego. Wow, I like that. It was such an amazing scene. Both of those scenes where Shadowthorn is bested, the scene with the hound and the scene with the Quickben doing something or the other, trying to trap Hairlock or whatever. Both of those scenes were so amazing. Just they were just awesome. Anyways, the book was amazing. It was awesome, and every single minute and second spent with these amazing characters was worth it.